Okay, let's continue with our pattern lesson, and let's take a look at how to make a repeating pattern that overlaps and you don't have, and you want to put a background on it, a colored background. You have the a full fill on your covered background. So I'm going to start. We have to make a separate document from what I can tell. So we're going to start with our 1x1 square again. So I'm going to create that, and I will go ahead and for the first part, just take this pattern that we made once before and just show you the difference. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go to my 1x1 and I'm going to paste it, and I want to move it so the gray square is exactly, that 1x1 gray square is exactly in my 1x1, and hold down my command key to make it a little bit less movement. It's very, very precise. Maybe I'll take off just a little here. Oops, I don't want to go. Let's go 2.5. It's better to build it from scratch. That's close enough for what we're doing right now. So then what I want to do is I want to, once I get that done, I'm going to do a export on this. Oops. I want to do an export. Hit the wrong button. Export it PNG or JPEG and go PNG. And it's just called Untitled 2. I didn't give it a name. And then if I go back, let's go back to our old document and let's zoom back, give you a comparison. I'm going to get rid of the star for a moment, and I'm going to draw another rectangle. And then when I go to my fill, I'm going to go fill, texture fill. It's back to our old checkerboard, but this time I'm going to go choose image. And there in my downloads, Untitled 2, that's the one I want. And I go open, and it fills it that way. So now you can see what the difference is. Now that background square fills, and it's the same looking pattern, but we don't have the gaps in between. So you don't see it as a background square per se. Okay, so that's the way to make an overlapping pattern with a background color. All right, let's take a look at how to make this repeating pattern with a overlapping colored background starting from scratch. So I'm going to do a little bit of a flower design here. So let's create a flower. So I'm going to go to my pen tool, and I'll start in the middle, and I'll draw up to here maybe. Click and drag a little handle, and then finish it off here. Okay, and now let's see, I don't want the border, so no stroke. And then I'll give it, I think I'll give it a gradient fill, linear, and I don't want it to be black. Let's go this, make it orange, and then this red, and I want to rotate it. Let's see, so then that would be up here. Nope. Oh, there we go. There's our rotation. There, that looks pretty good. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I don't want this. I want to go to my black arrow, and I want to select that, and I'm going to make a copy of it. So Command C and then Command V, and it pastes right on top, unlike Illustrator, not off to the side. But now what I'm going to do is I want to set my point of rotation. So I'm going to hit Transform, and you get this here. Let me zoom in. You get this gold diamond. I'm going to move it right down here to the point, and then I get outside. I see the curvy arrow. I can drag this around. Okay, and then what I can do, click away from it, select them both, and then I can group those right up here. Make another copy, Command C, then go Command V, and now I hit my transform, drag this to the point, and then I'll rotate it again, somewhere in there. Then I can continue to group these so I don't have to do as many rotations. Command C to copy, Command V to paste, hit transform, move my point of rotation there, rotate this a little bit more, and it looks like if I go one more, I'll be in pretty good shape. Command C, Command V. There's my, hit transform again, go to there, and rotate that last copy right up into position. There, we have a flower going. Now I'm going to go ahead. I think I'll draw a little centerpiece to it. So I'll go to my ellipse. Right in here, I'll hold down my Option key to draw from the center, Shift to make it a circle, and I'll just put in a little centerpiece, partially because that covers that up. And then what color should I make it? Hit the colors. Let's make it a deep purple. There. Okay. So there's our flower, and I will select it all, and I'll group that entire thing now. Okay. Now let's take this flower. Let's make a copy of it. So if I hold down my Option key, I can make a copy, and I'm going to make a smaller version of it, and I'll put it up here off the edge. Now you notice you miss some of it, but that's fine. It's once it goes off the artboard, you don't see it. And then maybe over here, I'll draw a quick leaf. Let's see, so I'll go here. I'm just going quick and making it jagged. I want it. So there, I'll take off the stroke again, and this time I'll give it a fill of green. No, I don't like that. I'm gonna go that green and make it darker. There, it doesn't look too much like a leaf, but for demonstration's sake, I'm gonna keep it like that. I don't want that point. Go to my black arrow, move it down here a little bit. It's just a design. And I could put other designs, other flowers, but for the time being, I'm going to leave it at this. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll make one more rectangle. And make it the positions 0 for X, 0 for Y, 1 by 1. And then I'll give that a fill, so maybe a light blue fill. And I go to my arrange. I send it backward. So that's what that's going to look like. And maybe I'll make it a little bit lighter. There, I like that better. And then what I need to do is I want this pattern to repeat. Maybe I'll stretch it a little bit. I will click there, and then I'll go to my transform again. But this time I'm going to move it. I'm not going to worry about rotating around that thing. I'm going to move it 1 inch to the right because I'm on a 1 by 1 square and 1 copy. And there it is over there. And I go to my flower, and I'm going to transform button again. I don't want to move it sideways, so 0 for X. I'm going down, so -1 for Y, and I'm going to go apply. Oops, my bad. It should have been +1. I forget that these programs don't work like math, the traditional math XY. So I go apply. Let's try this again. So I want to move this one 1 inch down, and I go apply. There it is. Okay. And I still have this random one up here. There it is that I need to delete. Okay, so there's my basic flower design. Not very fancy, but I expect you to spend a little more time. I don't want to take up all your time watching me draw. And then what I'll do is I will save it. And down here at the bottom, I'll call it Flower Power. Save it to the cloud. And then what I will do is I will export it as a PNG or JPEG. So now it's on my downloads folder. And I'm going to open up a new document. I don't want it 1 by 1. I can make it anything I want. Standard paper size, 8.5 by 11. I could draw in a rectangle. And then I go to my fills. And I do texture fill. Here comes the checkerboard. But now I'm going to go choose an image rather than paste. And there's my flower power. I go open. And there I get that repeating little pattern with the blue background. So that's how to make simple patterns in Gravit Designer. I would like you to do 2 different things. The first one is make a very simple one like I did with the star in the first video and have that repeat within an object. And then I'd like you to try to do the more complex one like the flower one I just did using a sample preview document that's 1 by 1 that you have to create first and then to import it to create this type of look. So I'd like you to do both. They can both exist on the same document. That's fine. But that's what we're doing with patterns.